Napoli are set for one of the worst title defences we might have ever seen. After smashing the Scudetto last season, this season they look to be finishing in around between 10th and 8th outside of European football, and it's for sure that their two star players, Kvaratskhelia and Victor Osimhen, will be leaving the club. So we are going to be rebuilding Napoli, selling the stars and bringing in some new players with one season to try and win the Serie A. And as you can see on Football Manager, we have gone to the end of this current season and make them finish in 9th place. So an absolute stinker of a season for Napoli, which is really surprising given the calibre of players at this club. We've got simply one of the best strikers in the world at Victor Osimhen. Is probably going to be leaving to somewhere like Chelsea, or I don't know where else he could possibly go, to be honest, but he'll go somewhere because he's way too good to be staying outside of Europe. Maybe a PSG to replace Mbappe, but I'm sure Osimhen will go. And I imagine it'll be the exact same for Kvaratskhelia as well. I understand he's not had quite a good season this season, this last thing. He's had a few injuries, etc. But this guy is a top talent and is simply fantastic and cannot be playing outside of Europe. Now, they are worth a lot of money, both of them just under £100 million. So we're going to bring in some players, but we are not going to go crazy on transfers. You can see I have made a Napoli system, a bit of a normal one, a attacking one, and a defensive one, all for Napoli. And I've got a few positions that I want to improve on. Now, the defense I actually think is quite good. Same for the DM and the central midfield position. Their normal midfielder, Zielinski, is leaving on a free contract. So we need another midfielder, the attacking one, and then the front three. I want it to be upgraded with that money. A brand new backup goalkeeper, a brand new backup right back, a brand new backup DM to Lopotka, a brand new midfielder as a backup to the new one we bring in. And then we have got three backups of Raspadori, Lindstrom and Giovanni Simeone to back up the new players are coming in. Now, there's not a lot of money here at the club, £30 million in transfer budget, but of course we're going to be selling our big boys and we're getting a lot of money back in. The club is actually set up to have a sort of a very good future. There's not a lot more. There's no debt on the club whatsoever. £5 million in transfer debt, £80 million in the bank. So things are looking good. It's just fixing things on the pitch and bringing in some new stars to replace the big ones. So let's see who we bring in to replace Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia. Well, first of all, Victor Osimhen has had the club to go and join Real Madrid. We've got £70 million for him, which is a decent amount of money, probably similar to what they'll get in real life now they're outside of Europe, and potentially need to sell as he'll be a little bit unhappy. Obviously, in this universe, Real Madrid have not gone for Mbappe, they have gone for Osimhen. And Kvaratskhelia has also had the club, and he's gone to Tottenham Hotspur, and this was £60 million, so we've raised £130 million. We're looking to spend probably just over half of that to improve this side. They're the two big sales, a bit of a different sale here to Spurs. I actually see it being quite a decent place for him to go to, obviously in the Europa League next season, but probably a good place for him to go and develop his career, and Spurs could use someone like Kvaratskhelia as well. But let's get into our big signings. Starting off with Romelu Lukaku. Now, Osimhen is heavily linked to go and join Chelsea, and it is also linked that Lukaku could be going in the other direction to Napoli after his loan spell at Rome. Now, one thing we have learned about Romelu Lukaku is that when he plays in Italy, he is a different man. Inter Milan, 23 goals in 36, 24 goals in 36, 10 in 25, and then this season at Rome, where he's been fairly decent in real life as well. Obviously, FM doesn't quite have it the same, but we've spent £37 million to bring the Belgian striker here to Napoli, and he's been linked in real life, so it's a realistic signing as well. And I think this is going to be an absolute banger because this guy can score goals. 18 finishing, 18 determination, great penalty taking, 20 strength, 20 balance as well. This is an absolute bargain for 37 mil. And I'd say that's only the real massive name that has come in and joined the squad. There's a couple of quite big names in here, and then we've got for players that are linked to in real life as well, and some younger players. So number one is a heavy linked player, Albert Goodmanson from Genoa. This guy's got unbelievable first touch, dribbling, crossing, pace, flair, and technique, and he's going to come in on that right wing position. He's 27 years of age, 42 caps for Iceland, consistent, and looks absolutely brilliant. And to finish off the front three is Alvaro Giallo, signed from Braga. Now, I was looking for someone a little bit different to go and sign on this left wing spot, a bit like Kvaratskhelia was from Dynamo Tbilisi. We have gone and signed Alvaro Giallo. This guy cost us just £7 million. He's got 16 dribbling, 18 acceleration, 16 pace, 18 flair, and to find him, we used the player comparison tool with Kvaratskhelia, and we ended up finding this guy loves big matches. He looks absolutely brilliant, and while he's only a 2.5-star player currently, I think in the match engine and with this system, he is going to absolutely cook. We then move into potentially one of our attacking midfielders, and it's Thomas Lemar, signed from Atletico Madrid. Now, this cost us £18.5 million. He's never played in Italy before, but has had many big match experiences playing in Champions League finals, and is an absolute standout player as well, and comes in here to be a great rotation option in the midfield, off the left, or even in a left back if we really need him to. And then one of the more backup midfielders is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, again rumoured to leave Spurs this season, costing us just £9.5 million. A very good holding midfielder or central midfielder, can play pretty much anywhere we need him to, consistent, likes big matches, and has got that sort of play that I really think would suit in Italy, that aggressive midfield position that can also play a ball, great teamwork, great vision. He could be a great midfielder here. And then more of the younger option to come into that position is Christian Alessani, signed from Inter Milan. This guy ends up costing us just £7.75 million. Obviously just moved to Inter Milan from Empoli, didn't really cook this season, so we've brought him over here at Napoli. £7.5 million, consistent, absolutely fantastic. Again, a very good centre mid on attack, so comes in to be that backup to Lemar in that position, and I think he's going to do it so well. We then brought in a backup right back in Balverdinho Semenyo. This guy's a right back playing in the third tier or second tier of Italy. 650k is all we spent on him. We didn't want anyone too good there, as Di Lorenzo is fantastic, but he is actually very, very well rounded, an absolute bargain, and genuinely could do a very good job at this level. And then finally, there's a couple of free signings coming in. I believe this guy's already joining in real life. It's Matija Popovic. He joined Brianza and is now joining Napoli. A very good young striker. I believe this is a real life signing. And finally, coming in to be our backup goalkeeper is Adrian, released from Liverpool. A very good backup goalkeeper. We've got Alex Meret in goal. We don't need anyone too good, and this guy's consistent, likes big matches, and is a veteran as well, so should be good for the dynamics. Now, in terms of how the team is lining up for this season, Alex Meret in goal with Di Lorenzo, Ramirani, and Juan Jesus as the back two. Mauri at left back, Lobotka, Zambo and Giza, and Lemar as the midfield three, with Gudmundsson, Alvaro Diallo, and Romelu Lukaku leading the line. Adrian, Semenyo, Nathan, Ostergaard, Oliveira, Højbjerg, Kazuste, Alassani, Raspadori, Lindstrom, and Simeone are here as well. I imagine Ostergaard will get a lot of game time in that centre-back. A very good young player, just 24 years of age. Great heading ability, great defensive ability as well. Looking fantastic. Anyone else here that I think will get a good game time? Kazuste is a good Swiss midfielder, DM or central midfielder. Lindstrom as well, a good little young Danish winger who's we're going to take on the transfer list, but very, very good player. Raspadori as well is a banger. Very good backup striker or right winger, and I'm sure he'll get lots of game time and lots of goals. Obviously, this season, we are just in the Italian Serie A, the Super Cup, and the Italian Cup as well. In the Serie A, due to selling our big names, we are predicted to come down in 4th place. Now, I think we can make a run for the title. I think the squad is very, very good, and I think there's a chance we can do it with replacing the big stars. Can we build Napoli into champions of the Serie A yet again? Well, the first game of the season was at home against Frosinone, and instantly we're a little bit worried that last season's poor performances were going to creep in. A pretty good goal from Gratiano in 25 minutes. It took us to the second half to actually get ourselves underway, and it was Lemar finding Giza with a long-range drive into the top corner. Screamer for screamer so far, and then Romelu Lukaku decided to show up in a Napoli shirt, and what a start it was. A great ball at the top, a fantastic touch, and a fantastic finish to make it 2-1, and he's going to grab a second and a third for Napoli as well, and a convincing 3-1 victory, showing his dominance in the air. And we followed that one up with another 3-1 victory against Torino. Goals from Alvaro Giallo, Zambo and Giza, and a 94th minute goal from Lukaku. Before finally dropping some points, a 2-2 draw against Bologna. A missed penalty from Lukaku, slightly disappointing, especially after getting off to a great start of a 2nd minute goal and a 9th minute goal. 2-0 up in 10 minutes to draw the game was a little bit gutting, but we move on from that. A 2-2 draw. Our first game in the Italian Cup also happened this month. And of course, with a complete rotational side, we managed to beat Regina 2-0, a 68 possession, 33 shot match, showed the dominance, and it was a very, very easy victory. And obviously a decent start to the league as well. 7 points in 3 games, 2 wins and a draw. Not playing against the best opposition, but a good start, showing the absolute shocker of last season's behind us, and we can now move on into becoming a powerhouse again. And with this month, we certainly had some harder games, kicking things off against Roma, and then we had Juventus, and then Inter Milan. And a great goal from Alvaro Giallo made it 1-0 in just 15 minutes. They balled in from Zango and Giza to make it 2-0 past Sergio Rico was a great start. And Lemar finding Ramirani the back stick, falls to Juan Jesus, and a 3-0 victory against Roma. An absolute demolition as well, with over 50% of the ball and 19 shots to their 2. Napoli were cooking. And we know we're doing well because we drew 0-0 away from home against Inter Milan and held our own as well. Pretty much a similar amount of shots, a similar possession, and a fantastic performance in the slightly more defensive version of the 4-3-3. And to wrap the month up, we had a 1-0 victory against Juventus, a goal from Ramirani. And to stay unbeaten after 6 games playing against 3 of the best teams in the league, who were still sitting inside the top 4, 6 games, 4 wins and 2 draws. 5 points off the title, but a game in hand on AC Milan, who are also unbeaten. Same goes for Lazio. And well, now we're going to get into the meat and bones of the season. 7 games in a row that I think we can show that we are really going to be title contenders. Como, Atalanta, Salento, Udinese, Cagliari, Cremonese and Genoa. 7 games we should be able to win. If we win these, we were certainly going to be on top of the table. And we'll first up with an incredibly convincing 6-2 win over Como, with a hat-trick from Romelu Lukaku and showing we were a top side. And next up was away from home against Atalanta, and we know these are a very good side. They are competing with us for that top 4. What a great ball in from Alvaro Diallo, found Lukaku to make it 1-0 in just 3 minutes, and just before the half-time whistle blew, we are going to make it 2-0 as well. A great ball into Zambo and Giza, and he can strike a ball. 46 minutes in, 2-0. A third goal is coming. Lobotka finds the ball out wide. Juan Jesus is there. A ball into Lukaku, and 3-0. Another 3-0 result against Salento with goals from Ramirani, Lukaku and Alessani. A 4-2 against Udinese away from home with Alvaro Diallo brace. A 1-0 against Cagliari in quite a tight game, but certainly a dominant one with 22 shots to their 4 and 61% possession. Another victory away from home, Alvaro Giallo, Lemar and Mario Rui getting on the score sheet, and we'd put on a real run of form. We had 1 game left to make it 7 in a row. As I mentioned, if we win these 7 games, we're going to be on top of the table. Well, this last game was going to be a good one. Well, this one was at home against Genoa, and this might be one of these best performances I've ever seen on a Football Manager. Number 1, a goal from Raspadori. And what I'll say first of all here is we're going to have 6 different goal scorers, but not 6 goals. We were absolutely unbelievable. Alvaro Giallo, a great ball in from Lemar, making it 2-0. And he's actually going to be the man to get 2 goals in this game with a sideways volley past this man. This guy cost us just £7 million. It was an absolute bargain and proving to be one of the best signings I may have ever made on FM. A fantastic replacement for Kavica Kvaratskhelia. A great ball there from Goodmanson to make, I believe it's 4-0 at this point, before Finkola finds Guven to make it 4-1. And to be honest, that just lit a fire under us. We wanted more and more goals. Lemar found Anguissa out wide to Ngonge. He gets into the box and he makes it 5-1. An absolutely fantastic finish there from Cyril. Then a nice little build-up play. We have brought on the backups at this point. So Sajuste finds Di Lorenzo on the right-hand side, and Alassani is there to make it 6-1 in 85 minutes. And Thomas Lemar made it 7 with a fantastic free kick, and what is maybe the best performance I've ever seen from a side on FM. A 4.24 XG, 20 shots there for 57% possession. A complete and utter demolition of Genoa, and we've also taken their best player as well. And of course, that does mean after 8 victories in a row, including the one against Juventus, we are top of the table with a game in hand. 11 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses, a 29 goal difference. And genuinely, these 3 tactics in rotation of each other are absolutely cooking. You can see that last game we used the attacking one with the Regista in the CDM role to make it a 7-1 victory. If we're at the game, I sort of switch between all 3 of these videos. I do, well, the one season ones, I play every single game, and it's been so fun to use this side. And this guy has been an absolute standout for me. A 7.33 average rating, 7 goals, 2 assists in 13 starts. Costs just £7 million to come in from Braga. An unbelievable signing. It's worth mentioning about Lukaku as well. He's unfit for that game, but 12 games, 12 goals, 7.29 average rating. Another unbelievable signing here at the club. Has been supremely consistent for us as well. And the top performer has been Alvaro Giallo, actually, in terms of all the games he's played. Zambo and Giza has been brilliant as well. Lobotka, Di Lorenzo, Lemar. But we couldn't get carried away. We had a long way to go until we're going to lift this Serie A trophy yet again. And this month, again, was going to be quite a nice one. Fiorentina, Brianza, Hellas Verona, back in the cup against Pisa, Parma, and away from home against Lazio. Well, we didn't see a single goal from from Lukaku in that 7-1 against Genoa, so I thought I'd show you a 14-minute hat-trick here against Fiorentina. A first goal, a defensive mistake from Nico, and a goal coming just 10 minutes later. Oliveira down the left-hand side finds Raspadori, a ball into Lukaku, and of course, he finished it to make it 2-0. And literally 90 seconds later, Anguissa finds Albert Gudmundsson, drives into the box, a ball into the back stick. Lukaku can do it in the air, he can do it on the ground. He will find a way to put the ball into the back of the net. Fiorentina do make it 3-1 thanks to Ranieri scoring, but we are going to make it 4. Another free kick from Thomas Lemar. We followed that up with another victory, a 3-2 against Brianza, but certainly a tighter game. We finally stopped the winning run of 10 in a row during 1-1 away from home against Hellas Arena. Of course, Lukaku scored yet again. And obviously that annoyed us, dropping some points. So Parma, a 4-0 victory. And away from home against Lazio, we continue to show our dominating streak. Anguissa, a ball through to Lukaku, who if you guys have never used an FM, I implore you to go and try him. He might be 31 years of age. He also might be the best striker on the game. Raspadori finds him in the box again. He just does not miss. 18 finishing is something which is supremely underrated. Anguissa battling there with Cataldi. Lemar finds one at the top. Raspadori brings it down. A fantastic volley for 3-0 away from home against Lazio. And possibly the most impressive thing about this game is we kept Lazio at home to just 4 shots. We had 16 and we absolutely destroyed them. And again, it means we're unbeaten in the league. 15 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses. The only team unbeaten so far in the league. A 40 goal difference. And Lukaku has already scored 20 goals in the league. Absolutely ridiculous. He's not even played every single game. We've had 18. 20 goals is absolutely crazy. I'm surprised if anyone catches 20 for this season as a whole. We did also play in the Italian Cup as well against Pisa, and that was a very convincing 5-1 victory. Goals from Emil Højbjerg, Alvaro Giallo, a brace from Juan Jesus, and a goal from Thomas Lemar. We are now into January. I don't think we're going to make too much business, but we shall see what happens. Well, to be honest, it was a very, very quiet January. We did end up selling Nathan, a Brazilian centre-back, purely because he was non-EU and wasn't registered. We got £8 million for him, which is way too little from what we deserve to get for him. He's only worth £53 million, but we just had to get rid of him and bring a centre-back that could play in the league if we need them to. So we brought Sebastiano Luperto back to the club, obviously come through the academy, ended up leaving to join Empoli just a few seasons ago, and we just needed someone to pretty much come in and fill registration requirements, and that's exactly what he does. He's good enough to play if we need him to as well, so not an awful signing. And finally, at the very end of January as well, we decided to sign Tom Raffe, bringing in a bit of a better backup left back, and this guy is a fantastic young German wonder kid, signed from Borussia Dortmund, has supreme potential, great crossing ability, and is pretty much a young version of Mario Rui. But none of them made too much difference what we're going to be playing for the rest of the season. So let's get into the January games then and start with the Super Cup against Inter Milan. Now this game was going to always be difficult away from home, but I wanted to lift the Super Cup as well as the Italian Serie A. So Lemar got us 1-0 up against Anguissa, thanks to a ball in from Anguissa. Oliveira then finds the ball into the back stick. It falls to Di Lorenzo. He fires it back into Anguissa, and he finally gets the goal that we were talking about. He makes it 2-0, and Inter Milan are going to get a goal back in 52 minutes. And DeMarco on the left-hand side whips it in. A fantastic header from Satriano, but that was it for Inter Milan, and we're through to the Super Cup final against Juventus. And well, Juve are actually going to go 1-0 up thanks to a header at the front post from Gatti in 35 minutes, but we were angry they had scored. So Alvaro Giallo drives in from the inside, finds Sambo Anguissa, and he gets yet another goal. The only thing is, though, that was it for the rest of the game, and we head straight to penalties. The first penalty, Dusan Vlahovic misses a great save from Mere, but Lukaku follows up with a miss of his own. I don't quite know how we've done that, but Rabiot finally gets a goal on the score sheet for Juve, and Albert Gudmundsson gets one for us. But the only thing is, that was the only one for Juventus. Valencia misses. Lemar scores. One more miss for them and one more goal for us. It is done. Danilo misses. And of course, due to the FM bug, it doesn't show us the goal. But we do go ahead and score from a Pierre-Emil Højbjerg goal. A victory in the Super Cup final. Thank you very much. Our first piece of trophy is here. And we're just days after that and the celebrations of lifting our first trophy. We faced Frosinone and beat them 3-1 thanks to goals from Raspadori, Di Lorenzo and Lukaku. And well, next up was the third round of the Italian Cup. And this one was against AC Milan. We got a bit of an unlucky draw, but what's not unlucky is Pierre-Emil Højbjerg be able to score absolute And when we started off the month of February with a fantastic 2-0 victory against Roma, a screamer from Højbjerg, yet again proven to be a fantastic signing for just £8.5 million. Gudmundsson then beats his man, drives to the box, cuts it back, and of course, Anguissa was there for 2-0. And up next was another game in the Italian Cup, a quarter-final game against Lazio, in which in just 25 seconds, Lukaku got us off to a simply fantastic start away from Lazio. But Lazio were going to be the team to stop another historic season. Felipe Anderson scores in the 61st minute to make it 1-1, and they scored in the 95th minute an own goal. Lazari finds Felipe Anderson, flicks off Juan Jesus, and our unbeaten season in every single competition comes to an end in the Italian Cup quarter-final. It was now just a case of could we do it in the Serie A. With a 2-0 victory against Inter Milan, a brace from Lukaku meant we were still beating the better sides. Followed up by back-to-back draws, a 0-0 against AC Milan and a 1-1 away from home against Juventus. But we'd pretty much now played all the big sides, and if we're going to go unbeaten, we just had to keep winning the games we should be able to win. So this unbeaten season is looking more and more likely. And then from here, we've got 2 games which I would love to show you, but we'd be here for probably 2 hours. An 8-0 victory away from home against Como. Højbjerg, a goal from Giallo, 4 goals from Lukaku, a Gudmundsson goal, and a 68th minute goal from Anguissa. Followed up by a 7-4 victory over Atalanta. A brace for Lukaku, a goal for Anguissa, a brace for Giallo, a goal for Lasani, and a goal for Mario Rui. 15 goals in 2 games. What would make sense after that? 2 games scoring 1 goal. So here's a 1-0 victory against Lecce thanks to a goal from Lukaku, and then a 1-0 at home against Udinese. A shocking performance, and they even got a red card in the 70th minute. We went into the attacking formation, just couldn't win the game. Sadly, a 1-0 draw. More drop points, which, you know, we're looking for a record here, and I'd quite like to try and beat the points record as well as go unbeaten. So I whipped them into shape, and a 3-0 victory against Cagliari get us back off to winning ways. A goal from Gudmundsson, Lukaku, and an 87th minute one from Njonje makes it a convincing victory. As we check out the Serie A, it is not all wrapped up just yet. There is 8 games to go. There is 5 points between ourselves and AC Milan. We've got a much superior goal difference of +20. We've won 24, 6 draws and 0 losses. They've won 23, 4 draws and 3 losses. And they're the only team really competing with us for this title. Given the fact we're unbeaten, it's surprising another team is here, especially when Lukaku is scoring 31 goals. And while the run into the season looked quite nice, games against Cremonese, Genoa, Fiorentina, Brianza, Hellas Verona, Parma, followed up by the 2 final games of the season against Lazio at home and AC Milan away from home. If we do not lose that one, I imagine we've got unbeaten, but it could all come down to the final day of the season. So let's get some winning form heading in to the running. A 2-0 victory against Cremonese, goals from Alassani and Giacomo Raspadori, followed up by a 0-0 against Genoa. Now, if you cast your mind back to the start of this video, we beat Genoa 7-1. In this game, 0-0. We had 16 shots to their 1, but couldn't find the back of the net. Luckily for us, that only lasted 1 game, as 2 brand new signings in Gudmundsson and Lukaku got goals in the score sheet in a convincing 3-1 victory against Fiorentina. An absolute smashing away from home of Brianza, 32 shots to their 3, a 5-1 victory, goals from Ranarani, brace from Raspadori, a goal from Anguissa, and another goal for Alvaro Giallo. A 2-0 victory against Hellas Verona, goals from Lukaku yet again, and finishing the easier streak with a 1-1 draw against Parma. The final 2 games of the season were here, Lazio and AC Milan. Can we go unbeaten? Well, of course, there was only one man that can get this goal-scoring form underway. It was Romelu Lukaku with a backstick header to make things 1-0 just after half-time. But Lazio had an idea of their own. Lazzari found Kempi, he put the ball into the box, and Tati scored to make things 1-1. But in the 86th minute, a ball from Pierre-Emil Højbjerg found Albert Gudmundsson to the right-hand side, a ball into the box, and Alassani was there for 2-1. The Invincibles was on. We had 1 game left, and it was the team in second place and fighting us for the title, AC Milan, left in our way. And when it took 94 minutes for a goal to finally come out of the game, and of course it was that man, Romelu Lukaku. A backstick header thanks to a ball from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and a 1-0 victory away at the San Siro, and Napoli have gone unbeaten. We have sold the two superstars in Osimhen and Kempi Kvaratskhelia, and a simply ridiculous season with Napoli. 38 games, 30 wins, 8 draws, and the Italian Serie A is such a competitive division, and we have absolutely smashed it. Now it is time to mention that this tactics, well, all three of them, and the game save file are all available over on Patreon. Thank you to the legends running down the screen right now. If you want to get these tactics and obviously the game save file, that is all over on Patreon. £5 a month. You help support me massively, and you can get yourself free tactics, which are absolutely gonna cook. Now this season we've got to talk about a few people because I am gobsmacked at how good they are. Number one, Romelu Lukaku, 35 games, 38 goals. Again, his age will put you off signing him. Just do it. Score lots of goals and you'll have such a fun time. An unbelievable striker. Alvaro Diallo coming in and replacing Kempi Kvaratskhelia. 14 goals, 11 assists, 35 games. A fantastic little tricky winger who, again, you guys need to look at as a bargain on the left wing. Raspadori, a fantastic backup. 12 goals, 14 assists in 23 games. Was brilliant. And Anguissa from the middle of the box, scoring so many goals with their late driving runs. 11 goals, 13 assists. A fantastic signing he was indeed. The top average ratings charts: Lukaku, Diallo, Di Lorenzo, 7 assists and 2 goals, and Anguissa still with Mere there in a 7.15 was brilliant. Rui, 7 assists and 2 goals. He might be 34, he can still do it on the big stage. Lamar, a brilliant signing, 8 and 11. Same for Højbjerg, scoring screamers left, right and centre, 4 goals and 3 assists. Albert Gudmundsson, not quite as many goals, but 11 assists and 24 starts. A very good signing, and looks like a real top tier talent from Iceland, which is awesome to see that he was cooking as well. Alsani played lots of games, 6 goals, 5 assists in 28 games. And our final signings were Tom Roth, who played a bit in the final end of the season. Ostergaard was a very good centre-back and played as well. Badavinho Chiminio, 6.70, 7 games as a backup right-back. Exactly what you're looking for. And that is it in terms of our signings. A very successful Napoli rebuild, back to champions of Italy, while doing unbeaten and sending Osimhen and Kempi Kvaratskhelia. Thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next time.